All right, great. All right. So first things we need to do is get our GNS3 up and running. So I already have it up here, right? And server, our virtual server is also running, which I have it running here, right? The server we really don't have to touch anymore. So once it's up and running. Okay. So I'll quickly go over how this needs to be set up. Right now for us, actually, let me just save this file. Save. We gotta stop everything. Yes. File. Save project as multiple routers. Uh, all right. Everything's a bit slow, but it should work out. Okay. So to get this all set up, um, what we have to do is we have to bring in a cloud, right? Let's pretend that this isn't running. Uh, let's just say you have a brand new um, project, right? So you open up right here and you pull in a cloud and you want to make sure you're using your home server. Okay, that's fine. Okay, there's my cloud. Now we're gonna we'll call this loopback cloud. We're gonna connect this to our loopback. Okay. So we're gonna right click it and we're gonna configure it. Now we're going to go to show special interfaces, right? And here's the loopback that we had set up from before. We're going to add that. Okay. Apply. Okay. Okay. So once we have that set up, what we need to do is we're going to pull in one of these C72 routers. Okay. This one we're going to configure as well, but we're going to configure this through the console. I guess everything needs to be started up to configure. So what we'll do, we'll actually add this wire, right, from here, Ethernet fast 00 to the loop back. All right. And we'll start everything up. Okay. So now we're going to go to our router that we just made, right? And we're going to right click it and we're going to go to the console. All right. Where is the console? Here it is. Okay. Takes a little while to boot up, but eventually it does. Now, all the instructions that I'm going to go through are actually in the slides um, that Brian put together. So they would be slides. Let's see. It's module 10. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be configuring this so that we can SSH into it. Okay. And these things are slow sometimes, but hopefully eventually it'll start up. It's probably also slow because I have other things running. So let me close all of these. There we go. Dun, 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 dun. It's still not, still taking its time. While it's doing that, I will show you um, module 10. Here it is. And what are the commands I'm working with that you can also look at. If you open up this module 10 in PowerPoint, there are notes that you can just copy and paste. But if you want, actually, I can send you this too. Control copy. Oops. Uh, what's the- hopefully you guys can open this up. But so these are the commands to set up SSH right here. You basically just follow these commands 1 through 15, and that'll get you set up with SSH. But I'll do it right now live as well. Okay, so we're in the console. Finally, sort of. Yeah. Okay. Let me see if I could change this. No. Oh. Uh-oh. Okay. There we go. Change settings. Uh, Appearance. Change 14. 5. Yep, that's better. Bigger is better. All right. So first thing we got to do, configure or config terminal. Terminal. Okay. That puts us into the configuration. Um, Basically we're allowed to configure the router now. So now what we're going to configure is interface, oops, interface fast Ethernet 00. Okay. Remember these are in the link that I put in the chat for module 10 and it's slide 14. Right? So you could copy and paste it from there. The next thing that you will do is IP address. Right? IP address 10.1.1. In the instructions is 10.1.1.10. You can go ahead and do that, actually. I'm going to do one differently because I already used that one, so I need to do a different one. So I'm going to do 101, but you can do .10, okay? And do 101. And 255, 255, 255, 0. All good. Okay, then we do no shut. And now, so all of this is just to set up the IP address for Ethernet or fast Ethernet port 0, right? That's usually the WAN Ethernet port. Now we're going to give it a host name. We're asked to do Cisco router 1. Okay. And we're going to do IP domain name CSN.com. IP domain name CSN. Okay. And now we do user name CSN secret Cisco. What you're doing here, you're creating a username so that you can log in via SSH. So username CSN secret Cisco. So username CSN, the password is Cisco. So command 8 is going to be enable secret. Okay. Oh, enable secret Cisco. Number 9 is crypto key generate RSA. It's going to ask us how many bits we want to do. We're going to say 2048. And now it's creating that key that we're going to need when we're using SSH. Okay. That also takes a little while. There we go. All right. So now we're going to do IP SSH version 2. That's that was command 10. Command 11 is going to be line VTY 04. Line 12 is transport input SSH. Then we do login local. Okay, then we end, and then we write memory. And it's going to ask you if you want to overwrite. You just press enter, and it builds the configuration. Okay, so remember, all those commands are available here. I sent you guys this link in the text. I will also put this link in Brightspace. I'm gonna put it here in install GNS, so an 8. Um, create a link. GNS SSH URL. All right. Right. So it's in, and it's also in the chat right now. So it's this right here. So these are the commands that I just put in, right? From 1 through 15. Okay. So, um, so another good practice to do is to actually put what IP addresses you have. So you use this little, I don't know, greater than underscore sign. But really that's just to make text. So, oops, or not. That's not to make text. That's to open everything up. Oh, that's the terminal. So, no, it's this one. Sorry. It's this little um writing tool. So here I'm going to put 10.1.1.101 because I know it's 10.1.101. Okay, and then this is the loopback cloud. Okay, everything is started up. So if you haven't done so already, you need to press the play button and start everything up. Okay, that is connected. You should just have one thing connected. Now, if you open up a terminal, so from your computer, right? If you type in CMD, right, command prompt, that'll open up this command prompt, right? And from this command prompt, you should be able to ping that IP address, right? So here you can see that my computer is connected, right? My computer is connected to 10.1.1.101, which is what I set this router to be. Now, just to make sure that you guys can see the network settings, here, I'll go to the control panel. And for my control panel, I'll go to network, right? And I'm gonna, I think network and sharing center. You should see this loopback test. I think it's here, right? Loopback test. You should have configured this before. And if you click on it, you go to properties. Okay. And one of the two things that you need to make sure of with your loopback is that Internet Protocol version 6 is not checked. And when you click on Internet Protocol version 4, this is the address that you need to put. So this is your computer's address, 10.1.1.2, 255, 255, 255.0, right? So that's how we're all on the same network. So if we go back right here, if we do a IP config, it's going to show us here. This is the loopback Ethernet adapter. Okay. This is the address we set it up for our computer, right? And the loopback is connected here. And then from here, you virtually create a wire to connect this router, right? So I also have these additional routers already connected, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So let's just work with this one right here. Okay. So now we want to SSH into it. So okay, SSH is called Secure Shell, and what you're doing is a protocol that allows you to connect remotely to other devices. So you have to imagine that, you're in a dark room in the middle of nowhere and you can work on a network anywhere because you can remotely connect into that router, right? In our case, we have everything virtualized. So these aren't real routers, these are fake routers that are just in this virtual environment. And we're going to want to connect to it. So we're going to use the command SSH, and we're going to use CSN as the user at, okay, let me make this bigger. So, properties, the fonts. Yeah, that's better. All right. SSH, CSN at the IP address that we want to connect to. So for me, it's 10.1.1.101. For you, it's probably 10.1.1.10. So we do this. Now, you might get this error, okay? This is an error based on the fact that the keys don't match. So, like, I don't know if it's my computer, but it's probably this uh router image is using some old encryption methods. So my computer doesn't have the same encryption methods as that old computer. So we have to do some kind of special things to make sure that it works. So the way to solve this, and I put this in the video, but I also have also have it here. I'll post this as well. I'm gonna put this in the chat. Okay. But basically, so just so that you kind of can know about how to like troubleshoot some things, it's not bad to use like Chat GPT or a Claude. right? You can look up this error and it'll give you an idea of how to fix it. So, but I know that, so basically this is saying that no matching key method found. So what we need to do is actually do dash O, which is an option, right? And it's this Kex algorithm is the first problem. So if I look at this, right, the Kex algorithm, these are the different ones that they have available. Diffie-Hellman Group Exchange SHA-1, Diffie-Hellman Group 14 SHA-1, all of these, right? So I'm saying, hey, I want to force my SSH to use this algorithm, right, when I'm connecting via SSH. So the rest is going to be the same. CSN at 10.1.1.101. Okay, now we have another problem. No matching host key type found. Okay. So I still have to keep going. I have to do another option. And I'll save you the time to do all the other errors. You could just copy this, but there is a couple more errors. There's the host key and the ciphers and the MAC address. Okay. But all in all, if you just copy this whole thing and you put it in here, just remember that you're going to CSN and it's the IP address that you set up in your GNS3. I set it up as 101. You probably set it up as 10. So if I do this, now I should be able to get in. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes. Okay. Now it asks me for the password. The password is Cisco. It's not going to show up on the screen. It's just going to, even when I type, it's not going to show it, but it's in there, right? And now we're in the Cisco router, and you can see it right here. We're in the Cisco router. And if I go to GNS3, right, and this is the console for that same device, right? Here it is, Cisco router, Cisco router. So now I'm remotely connected from my command prompt to the virtualized router. So you can imagine that you would be somewhere in the world and that you remotely connect to that router, and now you can actually interact with it. Okay. So that's what SSH does. All right. Now the next step is to interface with Python. So instead of always having to do every single command ourselves, right? We could create scripts that can do commands. Okay. So this doesn't matter anymore. Let's go to Python. So we're going to go to PyCharm. Okay. You can start it. Oops. Start a new project in PyCharm. Right. And I'll start a new, I'll start a new Python file. I'll call it in class, or you could call it Paramiko. I'll call it Paramiko in class. All right. Paramiko in class. All right. Let me get this bigger. Okay. So, um, if we're following along that same module 10, we are now going to do um slide 19. So just so that everybody can see it, right? You would go down to slide 19, and these are all the commands I would follow. See if it has, if you right click it, no. If you have this file as a PowerPoint, if you right click it and you go to via alt text or view alt text, you'll see this as you can see all of these things written out. You won't have to type them out. Um, you know what I'll do? I'll actually put it in Brightspace right now. I'll upload it. So it's in number 10, the viewable. Let me make sure it's viewable. Yeah, it's visible. So it's in, you go here, content, here's Paramiko. Here it is, module 10 PowerPoint presentation. You would have to download it, I believe. Yeah, if you download it, um, and you open it up in PowerPoint, you can view as alt text for number 19. But I'm going to type it out right here, actually. So, um, actually, to make your life easier, I'll also just, I have it already. I'll type it out now, and then once I'm done, I'm going to copy it and paste it for you guys. Okay. So, so what we have to do first to make sure is that we have to go to here at the top, we're going to go to settings. In settings, we're going to go to the Python interpreter right here. So this might be closed. We go to Project Python 312, Python interpreter. And then you're going to go to this plus, and you're going to make sure Paramiko. You're going to search for Paramiko. I already have it, but if you don't have it, you need to install it. I already have it here, but if you don't have it, you go to Paramiko down there, and then at the bottom you do install package. Okay. And then it should show up right here. I already have it. Paramiko right there. All right. So once you do that, we're going to do import Paramiko. Actually, yeah, import Paramiko. And then the next thing is we're going to have variables. I'm putting this commented out because these are the variables. I just need the notes, right? And I want to know what I'm doing. So we're going to do underscore host name equals, and then this is going to be the IP address that we just set up. So I'm going to do 10.1.1. What was it? 101, I believe. Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, 101. 101. Oops, that's going to be inside the there. Then underscore port. This is defining the port we're using is equal to 22 underscore username. And that is equal to CSN, right? We know this because we already tried to log in. And then underscore password is equal to Cisco. Okay. Oh, and all of these have to be in quotations because they are strings. So what this is doing is importing Paramiko, and now we're setting these variables that we're going to use later to log in via SSH. So now we're going to say client equals Paramiko dot SSH with capital client. Actually, you can see it right here. And you gotta do open parentheses, close parentheses. And then you're gonna do client dot set missing key policy. That's fine. And now, so those are just like some standard things you gotta do. And now I'm gonna do client, right, dot connect. So the way it's set up in this script is all one line, but I'm actually gonna do it in here. Oh, it's not. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna say the host name equals this underscore host name. Um, yeah. After that, we put a comma. Then we do port equals underscore port. Now, theoretically, comma, you could just put what's in here, but it's cleaner to have a variable for your host name. That way you can just change this whenever you need it. And so you don't have to change the code. You're just changing the variables at the top. That's why it's set up that way. And then username equals this username. Uh, oops, comma. Um, Password equals underscore password. Look for keys. Look underscore for, oops, for keys equals, no, look for keys equals false with a capital, comma, allow agent equals false. Allow agent equals false. Okay. So that should, and then you don't need this last comma, actually. You only need commas after all the other ones, not the final one. So that's client connect. That's with this. Make sure that's inside your parentheses. Now we're going to do standard in, standard out, and standard error. So that would be std in, std out, and stderr. Okay. And that's going to equal client dot exec underscore command. Here it is. And the command that we're going to be sending is a simple one called show, okay, in quotes, show IP interface brief, right? And we've done this a lot. So basically, computers at the most basic level have inputs, outputs, and errors, right? So inputs means that you're sending something to the computer. Output means the computer's sending you something. And an error is when something doesn't work and you don't write the command, you want to know what the error is, right? You want to get back information that there's a problem. So this is saying our standard in, out, and errors is going to be this command, client exec command. And this client exec command, what it does is it sends the command to the client. What is the client? The client is the connection that we made here, which essentially means the client is the router that we're sending these commands to. And the command we're sending is show IP interface brief. Okay. Next thing, um, output. So now output will equal standard out dot read, open, close, parentheses, dot decode, and we're gonna put in parentheses, in quotations, UTF-8. And after that, oops, and I spelled output incorrectly. Okay, and then the next thing we're gonna do is print the output, and then we're gonna close the client or client dot close. Okay. So I'm gonna copy this, copy. I'll put it in a new text thing, file, new, Control V. I'll save this. I'll put it on the desktop. Python, SSH, save. Yeah, I think so. Let me know. I'll put this in the chat right now. Uh, chat. Where is it? Desktop. There it is. So you can open that up and you should be able to copy it. It'll be easier for you. But if we look at this code really quickly, right? We're importing Paramiko. We're setting the host port username and password, right? Oops, this is wrong. It needs to be .101. So 10.1.1.101, port 22, CSN, and Cisco is the username and password. The client is going to be Paramiko SSH client. This is just basically we're telling the computer, hey, we want to set up a client and we're going to use Paramiko library to do an SSH request to the client. Client set missing host key policy. That's just standard stuff. And now client.connect. We make all of these equal to these variables up here. Look for keys equals false. Allow agents equals false. Standard in, standard out, standard error is equal to client exec command. This is how we're able to send the command to the client or to the router, and the command we're sending is this. Output equals standard out read decode UTF. So when it gets this command, the router is going to give back to us an output, right? And then we're going to print out that output. So let's run it. Okay, so I got an error. That's okay. So here in line 10, I have an error.
Uh, that's try to ask you. I think you forgot put a Paramiko dot add. I think
Oh,
policy something like that.
it's client. Oh yeah, you're right. I did. There is another. There is Paramiko dot auto add policy dot auto. Here it is. Auto add policy, and then open and close parentheses here. So let's try it now. Yep, and there we have it. Okay. So basically, what we're able to do, right? We're able to connect to that router, and then it's going to return to us the information. So it's similar, right? It's the exact same thing as if I do this, right? Show IP uh interfaces brief. Oops. Oh, show IP interface, whatever it is here. What is it? Yeah, interface brief. So, right? So instead of having to log in and then actually manually go to the router, we can do it remotely via Python. All right. So if you have this working, just take a screenshot of this, and this is the first in uh in class lab assignment right here. Just get this up and running. You just take this screenshot, and I will see that you actually got that up and running. All right. That's in Brightspace. So yep, right here. So in class lab, connecting to a router via SSH and show IP interfaces. All right, great. Um, so remember, I sent you the code, but it's missing this right here. It's also in the module 10. So you can just follow it and you should be able to do it. All right. All right. So now that we have that, that's great. Do we have something in the chat? Let's see. The code is this SSH text file. Yeah, it should be. Let's take a look at it. Oops, no. Oh, on SSH. Oh, yeah, it works. But remember that there is a small error. I mean, it's a major error because it doesn't work. You got to add this right here. Paramiko auto add policy. Okay. So now let's go back to GNS3, right? And you'll have to do is you have to actually configure three different switches. I mean, three different routers to go to the switch. Um, so here's C. So I've already done this. So what I'm gonna do, right? One thing that you can do to make your life easier is you can just right click on here and you can duplicate, right? So actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna delete this loop back. Yes. Okay. And I'll put this here. But you can just right click it. First you have to stop it, and then you have to right click it, and then you can duplicate it. Duplicate. And it creates another one, right? And then this other one you can right click and you can go to the console. Oh, it needs to be started up first. So right click, start, right click, console. It is R5 starting up. So instead of having to redo everything, you can just change the IP address. While that's setting up, I'm gonna actually put information here because this is 10.1.1.10, and then this is 10.1.1.30. There we go. Let's see if R5 started up. Yeah, it's coming. So if we do show IP interface brief, right? It'll show 10.1.1.101. We don't want it to be 101, right? Because we want it to be different than the other one. So what you'll do is config terminal. Oops. Config terminal. And then um config terminal interface fast Ethernet 0/0. And now we do the IP address, right? 10.1.1. In this case, I'll do 102, 255, 255, 255.0. Okay, it's set. Now we do no shut. That restarts it. And then we do end and write memory. And then write. Oops. Memory. Yes, confirm it. Okay, now if we do IP show show IP interface brief. Okay, you see now it has the new IP address. So if I go ahead, so what you would do too is that you go here, you pull out the switch, the Ethernet switch, right? You connect the switch. Here I have the switch. This is connected from port one to, so if I, this is, yeah, connected from port one to the loop back here. And then from the switch, you can connect the other ports to Ether 0. So like this. So if I connect this one, right, this is Ether 4 2, ether 0, and then I can do another one, ether 5 to ether 0. So now I have 5 things connected. You definitely don't need 5 things. This one's not running, so I'll start it. Okay. And just to make sure that they're all, so this is 101. I'm going to write that down. It's good to have notes. 10.1.1.101. Oops, 102. I hope. Yeah, 102. And this is 101. Okay. So if I go back to my terminal, actually, um, let's try it. 10, yeah, I lost this connection. That's fine. So we're going to ping 10.1.1.102. See, we're connected to 102. We're good. Let's see if we're connected to 101. 101 probably is not working right now because I just started up. So it takes a little while for it to boot. But there, it finally booted up. So if I do it again, it should work now. Okay. What other ones do I have connected? 200, 10, and 30. So 200. Hmm. Oh, there it is. 10. There it is. And 20. All right. So I'm able right now to have all of these connected via the switch, via the loopback, and connected to me. Okay, so next thing, let's see what else we need to do. So, hmm, um, okay, so let's do the labs now. Uh, so if we go to the incline, no, lab Paramiko, okay, so what we're doing, what does it ask us to do? Get familiar with creating a backup configuration file for a device file handling and network scripting. Based on the examples demonstrated in Module 10, you are to develop a Python script that automates the backup process for configurations set by specific commands on the network. By completing this assignment, you'll gain practical experience in network automation and configure management. So we're going to set up a virtual environment with one network device accessible via SSH. If you have a couple, that's fine. That's great. Develop a Python script called config backup.py to automate the following tasks. Establish an SSH connection to the network device. Send the command terminal length 0 to the device to disable pagination. Retrieve the running configuration of the device using show run command. Capture the output of show run command and save it to a backup file. The output is to be saved as a text file that has not been created yet, labeled IP address dash backup. And um, hold on. And send the command show IP internet brief to the device to display interface brief information. Capture the output of the show IP interface brief command and append it to the backup file. Test the script by executing it against the network device in your lab environment. All right. So, uh, let us start one by one. Okay. So we'll do first we need to create config backup.py. Okay. So file, new, Python file, config backup.py. Okay, cool. So let's take some of the stuff that we've already used. Okay, so we're going to import Paramiko. We're going to have to use these variables. We're going to have to create a client, do this. We have to connect to it. Okay. And let's try. Actually, we could take this whole thing, copy that whole thing. We'll put it here and we'll work off of this. Okay. So the first command, though, that they're asking us to do is send the command terminal length 0. Okay. So we'll copy that. Actually, let's do this because we're gonna need this. Actually, no. Let's just do this. We'll do here. Control V, terminal length 0. So let's see. Okay. Actually, let's just see what happens when we do this. So 10.1.101. Let's just see if this works. Okay, so it ran fine. Nothing happened because basically this doesn't return anything to us. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. Retrieve the running configuration of the device by using show run. Okay, so let's just take this whole thing, control copy, and then we'll do show run. I believe that's correct. Show run command. Okay. Let's see what the problem is here. It might be that you can't do multiple standard in, standard out. So so there might be a different way we have to do this. So okay, send command. Okay, let's see. Oops. Oh, um, okay. So we're probably gonna have to do a different way to do this. So I'm going to copy this one and I'm going to send it as well. This one. This is invoke. So this is slightly different than what we did in the previous version. So I'm just going to send you this one. Um, file new. So V, this is, I'll save this as invoke. Save as SSH invoke desktop. I will send it via Zoom. Where is the chat? Here it is. Okay. Um, not from here. Oh, yes. Okay. SSH invoke. Here you go. Send in that. All right. I'll put it in bright space as well. Um, the attachment right here. All right. So we're gonna use invoke. So I'm still keeping this stuff here. All this other stuff is pretty much the same, client connect, but what we're changing or what we're using from here, and remember, this is also in the module 10, the slides. So we're gonna connect, and then here in remote connection, invoke shell, we're gonna send, this is how we send commands now. So once we invoke the shell, we can send remote commands one by one. So I'm going to take all of this. So basically, I'm sending several commands. I tell it to sleep a little bit so that it doesn't automatically send back the output. It just gives it some time and it helps make sure that you get all the message. And then output will be remote connection, this right here, and it's going to decode it, and then we're going to print out the output. Okay, copy that. Go to config. So instead of standard out, all of this stuff, okay, paste that. All right. So now let's go back to our assignment, right? So we want terminal length 0. Okay, control copy. There it is. Actually, it's already there. Next one is show run. So this is show version. Let's do show run. Okay. Capture the output of show run command and save it to a backup file. Well, before we do that, we have this other one right here. I'm just gonna delete this. We're gonna keep it with show run for now. And um, this right here, output remote connection receive. We're gonna decode it, and then we're gonna actually I don't need this. We're gonna just print the output, and then we should actually close the connection, right? Client close, copy. So let's try it out. Okay, we got a little error. Okay, name time is not defined. So we need to import time. So we go all the way to the top. We import time. That's another module that we need. I'm not sure why, but we need it. But it's telling us right there. So, okay, so let's press play. Probably gonna get another error. Okay, so show run. So basically, okay, we got into the terminal, terminal length 0, show run. So, um, this means that, like, if we look here, right? So let's say we do terminal, what is it? Terminal length 0, 0, okay. And then I do show run. Oh, okay. So it is invalid input detected. Why would it do that? Let's see. Let me see what happens if I just, I don't know why it's saying that's invalid. Okay. All right. So for some reason, it's not returning back everything that it's not returning back anything actually. So let's see what happens here. So it builds configuration and then this is the configuration file and it puts it out, but we're not getting the full output of it. So let's see what we can do. hmm Invoke shell send command. So, um, let's see, send command, save file. Um, Let me see, send command, brief, um, okay, so let's try to increase this right here. Actually, I'm going to decrease this to 1 second, and then I'm going to increase the remote connection receive to 65535, 65535. And let's see what we get. We do it with slash n. Okay, let's try. Go run and um so remote connection dot send terminal length 0 and that's correct. Then let's do this actually. Then we'll do time dot sleep 1. And then let's do remote connection show run. Actually, let's do one. Ah, okay, and then we'll do time sleep one, and then um, actually we'll save the running config. So we'll do this running config equal same thing here. Remote connection receive decode. So I'll copy. Actually, oops, I'll comment this out. Okay. Um, let's try this. Text. Yeah,
I think line number 27,
yeah.
you see the code is not the same. You see left you have a double quote and the right you have a
Oh, that's true.
single quote.
You're right. Good point. That is true. Okay. So right now, I think what we have to do is I just want to try to save this file. So here, this is the variable that's getting the receive information. And then let's try to do, we're going to save a file. So here, save a file. And then we'll do file name equals F. And we'll do IP dash backup dot txt. Okay. Now with open, now we're going to open this file. File name. Okay. As F. So we're gonna F dot write. Now this is gonna write some configurations. Configuration. This is just adding some nice text to it. Backslash forward slash n. Okay, now we're gonna F write running code, right, which is this, a running config, config. Um, let's see if this works. Print. No, let's see. Me take this out. I'll just comment that out. So let's see what happens here. Okay. Okay, we got an error. Line 33. Okay. So oh, I got that because this IP needs to be host name. Yeah. Where is it? Okay. Host name. Okay. So here is the text. Let's see. Yep. Nope. 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 So for some reason, it's not returning the right um information. So let's see. Show run. Uh, maybe it has. Let's see. Let's just do it like this and see what we get. Okay. It just does that. Okay. Um, let's see how what it looks like here, right? So if we do show run, and then it's maybe we'll delay it more. Let's delay it like 8 seconds. No, it's still just showing us. Um, well, let me try. Maybe I have to add uh show IP internet brief. So let's take this, control copy, and then we'll do show IP interface brief. IP interface brief. Okay. Oh, and then /n. And then I'll save this one as int brief equals shall receive or remote connection receive. Control copy, control V, and then let's see what happens if I do f dot write int brief. Okay. Let's see what happens now. Actually, I didn't give it a delay, so hmm. Well, maybe because I didn't give it a delay. Let's see. I gotta give it a delay here. So time, sleep, copy. Maybe. You know what else it might be too? I might have to. No. Okay. Okay. I don't have to give it such a long wait. So let's do that. Okay. Okay, so it's getting a different error. That show run is giving us problems. Okay. So let's try it with double quotes. Maybe that's part of the problem. So it is, now that's interesting. It is printing the interfaces, but it's not, something here is not correct. Maybe we got to give it a space after show run because it's getting confused. All right, no, it's not done yet. Okay. Um, uh, let's see. Show running config. Okay, maybe we can try that. Show running config. Show running. See if this works. It's still giving us an error. Terminal length 0. Mm, So invoke shell, terminal length 0. That seems correct. Um, let's try this. So see, copy remote connection dot receive 6553 6 no 35. What this is supposed to do right here is to it's supposed to basically clear the buffer. Config show running config. Okay, let's give it 8 seconds. That's fine. And let's maybe we gotta decode it differently. So UTF dash 8, comma. Let's try ignore. Let's try this. So that ignores the errors. This is the encoding type. Okay, let's check it out. Show running config still has a problem, but it's probably the space. No, there is no space. Um, let's see what happens if I just get rid of this. What do we get with show running config? It might get stuck. Okay, let's see what we got. No, same problem. Okay, let's go back to this router and see show running config. All right, so it takes a while, but it does eventually spit it out. Show run. Oops. Show running config. Current configuration. But this is saying that there's an error here. Um, Shall send enable. Let's see. Hmm. Why is this not doing this? Show running config. Uh, let's try with single quotes. I don't think that's going to work either, but let me get rid of this. Okay. Hostname port, SSH keys. All right. Maybe it needs even more. No, I don't think that's it actually. So let's see. Invalid input detected at RUN. Um, but, Um, I enter enable with enable. Okay. All right. Let's see what happens if I put like, I don't know, 1,000,000 bytes in here. No, not that one. This one. Bring this one back to 65535. 655. This probably is going to give an error though. Yeah. No, it's still a problem with run. Try this. Let's go back to this terminal. Right. Okay. And let's also put enable, control copy, enable. Oops. Enable, enable, and time dot sleep. Let's do one, and then see what we get here. Okay. Oh, it's asking for the password. Okay. So then enable, then we need to do ascend, and it's going to be the password, which is this, copy, and this. Probably should put a sleep in there. Oops. Oh, uh, F, probably right. Password. Oh, okay, what do we get? All right, it worked actually. So it had to be in enable mode. That's what the problem was. Okay, cool. So let's look at it. I'm gonna put time. Okay, control copy, control paste. All right. So the things that have to get done. You have to connect, right? Well, first we're putting all the variables. We do client equals Paramiko SSH client. This right here, missing host key, blah, blah, blah. We've had this from before. These are all standard too, right? So the first thing we need to do though, we need to enable, I'm not sure why, but we need to use remote connection send. We have to enable it. And then when it returns back to us, it's going to ask us for the password. So we're going to use the password. Then we're going to send terminal length 0. That's so that it removes pagination, which basically means it's not, pagination is when when it shows a page and then you got to press enter to keep seeing the rest of it. And after each of these sends, we do a sleep. Okay, we do a sleep. Then we we receive this receives this remote connection, this right here. Um, then we show run. We sleep for a little bit of time so that we have time to get all the information. Then we create a running config. This is a variable, and that variable is equal to what we receive from remote connection, right? What we receive from here. Okay. Then we do remote connection. We send this command, show IP brief. We sleep a little bit, and then we save it as int brief, right? Remote connection receive here. Now we create a file. File name equals F, and we'll just use the host name dash backup.txt. Now with open file name, we're going to write as F. We're F writing running configuration. Then we write the running config and the int brief. So if we look at it, it has the whole configuration plus the interface information, and it saves it as a file. All right, that's all the time we have today. So what I'm going to do is I'll copy this for you, get this running on your computer, right? I need a screenshot, basically, not of the file, but that it's working. So, that this processes with the exit code 0, and then a screenshot of what I would like to see is this right here, show run building configuration, this stuff. I'll know that you guys at least got that done. All right, so here, Control A, copy all of this. Uh, File new. I'll save this as save as SSH backup file. Save. Yes. I'll put it in the chat as well as put it in Blackboard. I mean, not Blackboard, um, Brightspace. Add attachments. So here, SSH backup file. Update. Okay, so make sure you get this up and running, and then you still have one more lab to do, which would be uh question 2. But as I recall, question 2 is not as difficult. Uh yeah, it's just a little bit simpler. Well, you just have to execute commands on 3 different devices. So just for that, send me the code and also a screenshot. All right. And I'll just see everybody next week. Also, I'm going to post this video. So, all right then. I'll see everybody next week.
Okay. Thank you, teacher.
All
Good
right.
night. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Okay.